All right, welcome to this evening's regular business meeting. We're going to have our invocation by Pastor T. Lynn Oliver of New Testament Gospel Worldwide Ministries. It will be followed up by the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would, please stand with me. Pastor Oliver.
Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this evening. We just pray right now for world peace. God, continue to bless our leaders, continue to bless our county, our communities, and our community members. God, look after our commissioners. Father God, give them the resources to do what they need. And Father God, continue to bless our chairman. God, we thank you for this meeting on tonight, and we ask your blessings upon it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our March 15th, 2022 regular business meeting. The first order of business is the adoption of the agenda. Do any board members have any amendments?
Yes, Madam Clerk, I would like to, it's already on the regular agenda. Items 16 and 17, they need to be switched around. So the Clayton County Extension request for supplement should be read first prior to the other one. So is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Any others?
Yes. Number 6, if we'll pull that to the regular agenda.
All right, the motions for item number 6, Budget Amendment 2-19, fiscal year 2020 Mountain View TAD. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor, aye? Oh, we don't need a vote. We don't need a vote. All right. Commissioner Franklin was just biting at the bit. All right. Any others? All right, hearing none, I will accept a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the consent agenda, correct?
Yes. No, it's the agenda in its totality.
Well, let me just go on just in case. I do have a question regarding, I know 53, Resolution 53.
What item number is it?
It's number 13. And, because I have the same question for both of these, and the other one is number 3. I know both of these are groups or agencies or departments that are funded with the ARPA money, I believe. I just want to make sure that we have something in the language that will say that once this money is up, that it doesn't automatically go over to the county's budget. Is that the case? I don't know.
I guess you would have to ask the individual department heads or elected officials, but basically she's asking if they accept their contracts, is there language within the contract that states that this position is funded through ARPA funds, and once the funds run out, they may or may not have a job?
I didn't say that. I just said.
Good evening, Chair, Madam Chair, and Commissioners. As it relates to item 13, which is the Articles of Agreement, that specifically has a termination that once it's at August, I believe, once the funding is gone or August comes, that's the end of that agreement. That's for the use of the...
That's in the language?
Yes.
That we have, okay.
As it relates to item 3, which is the legal services with Deborah K. Jefferson, I have not seen an agreement but we certainly can make sure that the agreement with the professional services ends at that.
Well, that's
Solicitor-
okay.
Solicitor Brooks is
If
here.
it goes to the solicitor's budget, that's fine. I just want to make sure it doesn't come back to us.
She just wants to make sure. Go ahead, Solicitor.
There is a built-in language that terminates upon expiration of funds. But if the board does want to increase the budget in solicitor's office, we certainly will take
That's why
that.
you can't get him in the microphone.
We certainly will take
All
that.
right. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Brooks. Are you good?
I'm good.
Good job, Solicitor.
All right, any other questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Our next items are presentations and proclamations. The first is a presentation celebrating Women's History Month. We will hear a poem written by young poet Christina Pearl.
She's gonna do it. And we're gonna give her. She's doing the poem.
Yeah, you need the mic.
She's first, okay.
Yeah, so she can face them.
Yeah. Go ahead. No,
Are you on? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chairman Turner, Vice Chairwoman Commissioner Hambrick, Commissioner Davis, Commissioner Franklin, and my Commissioner of District 1, Commissioner Anderson. My name is Christina Pearl. I am 16 and I am a 10th grade student at Elite Scholars Academy. I want to acknowledge my principals, Dr. Shaw, Dr. Baker, and Dr. Ramsey. It is an honor to be here and I appreciate this opportunity. The poem that I wrote for National Women's History Month is entitled, Who Am I? Who are you? No, who are you really? Who are you to stand up and cheer in the face of defeat? Who are you to give to the world so every child can eat? Who are you to give your all to a world that is separated? Who are you to ensure that injustice is not tolerated? Who are you to go against the societal grain? Who are you to be true and wise in uncertain pain? Who are you to stand tall and walk with an iron fist? Who are you to present such knowledge that even an idiot cannot resist? Who are you to bring two-sided thinking to a one-sided man? Who are you to be the power of a story? Who are you, they ask every time I begin. I smile and I proudly say, I am a woman. I am the one that gives birth to a new nation and power to the world. I am the one that gives knowledge and a home to boys and girls. I am the power beside every man. For when all my strength is gone, I still say, I can. I raise the next governors, lawyers, and chiefs. I show the children to stay strong in their beliefs. I do not bow down like some say I should. No, I don't run away at the sight of a challenge as a certain man would. As I walk through this world, as I give it life, as I show there is more than temptation and strife. Like a tree planted by water, I will not move. I will not change for you, for I have nothing to prove. My will is me. My soul is what keeps me. I am a woman, and God sees me. Don't you dare try to compete with my power. Don't you dare try and tell me my soul is yours to devour. Don't you dare try and take my crown. For if my heart was water, evil would drown. My heart, my mind, my body in time shall never end. For when they ask who I am and where my powers begin, I will simply say, I am a woman. W-O-M-A-N.
And she is the proud daughter of our own LaVonna Cooper. So we have to say that. And according to Miss Cooper, she wrote that in one day.
She is the daughter of Miss LaVonna Cooper, who is I call her my executive assistant. And thank you so much for lending her to us. Christina Pearl is a student at the Elite Scholars school here in Clayton County, and she did. So let's give her another round of applause. She did an excellent job. Excellent job. appreciation for Women's History Month for 2022 from the Office of Commissioner Dr. Alika Anderson. And I want to thank you, Christina Pearl, for coming out here and shining your light on us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, group. On three, 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Very good.
Well, stay there. You might as well stay there.
We would like for Chief to bring up our centennial, who we will be recognizing, none other than Miss Saida Rashid White. And it is so befitting that we had the babies come before you to speak words of wisdom and honor. So if you would please come forward with Miss Kathy. Yes, the Chief is going to escort you up front. Yes, okay. That would be great. All right. All right, we're going to read this one. Here we go. Clayton County honors Madam Saida Halima Richardson Rashid White. Whereas Madam Saida Halima Richardson Rashid White, the firstborn of 4 children, was born on November 13th, 1921 in New York City on 5th Avenue to Herbert Richardson and Mercules Richardson Rashid. After a tragic accident and drowning of her father at the age of 3, Madam Saida's mother sent all of her children back to Trinidad, Tobago, where her parents originated. But whereas at the age of 21, Madam Rashid Richardson White spent 21 days at sea on ship Marissa, returning to the United States after her mother was able to earn enough money to support her children here in the United States. While in New York, Madam Saida White worked in the hospital as a medical caregiver for over 12 years. And whereas during her time in New York, Madam Saida saved the life of a dear friend, none other than Malika White, from extreme abuse from her spouse by taking her in and spending her last $500 to get her friend and children to a safe place. Madam Saida remained close friends with Malika White. Now y'all listen, this is before Tinder. Miss White later introduced Madam Saida to her father, Calvin White, and they were soon to be husband and wife. In 2007, Mr. and Mrs. White decided to relocate to none other than Clayton County to be closer to his daughter who lived in the city of Jonesboro. Whereas now residing in Riverdale, Georgia with her adopted daughter, who I call Mama Kathy, Miss Kathy Lovin, Madam Saida, at the age of 100 years old, loves to crochet. She also loves to cook Caribbean staples such as peas and rice, fish cakes, cabbage, and her secret recipe, y'all ain't ready for this, ginger beer. And ginger beer and sorrel keeps all her friends and neighbors coming back for more. Therefore, I, Felicia Franklin, Commissioner on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby honor our beautiful, courageous, strong, and caring centennial, Madam Saida Halima Richardson Rashid White, in celebration of Women's History Month for her impact to our community. Join me in extending the best wishes to Madam Rashid Richardson White and her family and friends this day. Therefore, I do set my hand to this proclamation. Y'all, please give her a hand. Now, y'all rising up a little slow. And guess what? We actually have more flowers. And before we're going to take this picture first, and we're going to ask our youth commission to please come down, whoever's still here. And LaVonna, where's your daughter? If she's still here, come down. This is important because this is about building generations in our community. And what better way to do it than on Women's History Month, where we could recognize these beautiful women and beautiful young ladies. So we'll take the picture.
Take one like this first, then we'll add.
Come on. Come on. Are you Miss Malika? Ah! You missed out on your money with Tinder, girl. Setting people up. Marriage, come on. Yeah, I'm the one that did it. You did the ceremony.
All right, Ruth, looking back right here. All right. Me. Good.
Oh, mask off.
All right, on three. 1, 2, and 3. Again. Very good.
Hey.
One more right here.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Keys, 1, 2, 3.
Don't move yet.
Come on, hurry up.
Okay, we got one. Oh, we got to do one more. Come on. Come on, you. While we're taking this next picture, we would, come on. They can-
Stand out.
Come on, baby. I'll stay right here. I can see you. Your hair is beautiful. Sound like my cousin.
All right.
Got one more. Come on, sweet pea.
Hey, W-O-M-A-E.
All right, group on 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2.
All right, stay there 1 second. 1 second. Okay, can y'all get it from me?
Ready, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, don't move. 1 second. Can we get, you got it? You ready? Now, the person who actually made this happen is Miss Kathy Lovin. And I forgot to call somebody, but I want you to look to the left here. Miss Kathy Lovin is 75 years of age and did 3 splits a couple Saturdays ago and got up. That's phenomenal alone. But you don't know that Miss Kathy Lovin is living history right here in Clayton County. Miss Lovin is on this show called Unsolved Mysteries. She was actually abused by her stepfather, who was a detective, and had sent her to jail, sent her away to jail. And it took another officer or deputy to be able to step in and help her and listen to her and save her from being sent away. And so today would happen because of Miss Kathy, but it's Miss Kathy's upcoming birthday. And we want to present to you, Miss Kathy, this by your favorite artist, Dr. Yvette Crossing. You are truly a phenomenal woman, and you give so much of your time. And we're going to have to talk about these peach cobblers you're making for Chief. That's why he picked you up today.
On 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you. Oh, you look good, honey. Thank you. Chief, come get you. Just got flowers everywhere.
The next proclamation is impactful service to the community and homeless.
Clayton County Board of Commissioners recognizes Leela Jean Gillespie for impactful service to the community and homeless. Whereas the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development report found that more than 326,000 people experienced sheltered homelessness in the United States on a single night. And whereas a HUD community sampling conducted in 2020 and 2021 revealed that 18% of homeless individuals are completely unsheltered. And whereas local weather stations reported below freezing temperatures and harsh conditions in Clayton County, Georgia, and surrounding areas. And whereas Leela Jean Gillespie, owner and proprietor of Soy Evans Entertainment Incorporated, located in Clayton County with an address of 6598 Terra Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia. And whereas on Friday, January 21st, 2022, Ms. Gillespie, a passionate humanitarian and dedicated, devoted, and conscientious businesswoman of Clayton County, opened her heart and her doors to help the unsheltered homeless community of Clayton County and surrounding areas in a severe time of need. And whereas Ms. Gillespie was joined by many concerned and dedicated citizens of Clayton County to serve for the next 10 days, the underserved by providing overnight shelter, warmth, food, clothing, and essential services to the homeless community. Therefore, I, DeMont Davis, Commissioner, on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners on this day, March 15th, 2022, express its sincere gratitude and appreciation for the tireless, devoted, and compassionate act of kindness, an extraordinary example of responsible business involvement, and community outreach in providing to the unsheltered homeless community of Clayton County and beyond. The Clayton County Board of Commissioners causes this resolution to be sent to Ms. Leela Jean Gillespie, the owner of the renowned establishment Soy Evans Entertainment Incorporated.
Listen, I just want to say for myself, during the cold spell at the end of January, I put a call in. I can't say her last name, so just Miss G. And she responded. She opened her doors. She told us what we'd have to do. And after the first, it was supposed to be 2 days. And I said, well, thank you. And she said, the weather's going to be cold some more. I said, so what are you saying? Keep going. She said, yes. Well, not only did she open her doors, on that Wednesday, she called me, and she was actually cooking for the homeless folks at our house to bring it in. So when we have businesses in Clayton County that care, these are the ones we want to keep in our county. Not those that just do business to make money, but those that care about our community, that care about our homeless, and that sought to reach in her own pocket and also lose money by sheltering these folks and also having to go through a slight legal recourse for it as well. So for that, I want to say thank you very much for everything you've done.
board will now hear public comments. Citizens will be given 3 minutes maximum time limit to speak before the board. Please state your name and county of residency for the record. Speak clearly into the microphone, and speakers should be courteous, respectful, and not make any disparaging remarks or use abusive language when addressing the board.
Not so sure about this first name, but the second name is Addie Cheney. Addie Cheney. Keith McLaughlin.
Good evening to you all. I hate to go first after the good news of everything that was going forth, but I thank you for your time, this opportunity to be heard this evening. My name is Keith McLaughlin. I was a prior employee of Clayton County Sheriff's Office for over 20 years. I was hired under the protection of the civil service, where I would have an opportunity for any grievances to be heard. In my case and many others, I was wrongfully terminated by Sheriff Hill. I'm currently pending 2 civil service hearings at over 3.5 and 4 years, waiting to be heard. These cases are continued to be delayed to this day. In 2017, Sheriff Hill called a supervisor meeting with almost 70 supervisors, where he stated that he alone determined the fate of his employees. He stated that he thought someone needed to be disciplined, that he would make that determination alone. He stated that if anyone disagreed with him or attempted to go against what he alone determined, that he would fire them. He then stated he would like to see how you would survive on the street without a job for 2 to 3 years while he would make you wait. So I had the privilege to serve Clayton County, the citizens of Clayton County, since 1997. I was my honor graduate of my law enforcement academy. I was selected to the transition team that assisted with the establishment of the current Clayton County Justice Complex. I was promoted through every promotable rank within the sheriff's office. As an investigator, a sergeant, a lieutenant, a captain, and a major. I was selected to manage and supervise the Internal Affairs Division as the commander, and I was a SWAT operator for 20 years and served as a SWAT commander for over 7 years. With over 20 years of service, I did not have any disciplinary actions against me. I'd never been written up, suspended, nor demoted. After a disagreement with Sheriff Hill on the legality of a situation, Sheriff Hill began to attack me by instructing 9 investigations on me in a 9-month period. I was demoted twice. I was still employed at the sheriff's office, but kicked out of the building and ultimately terminated. All of this occurred over 9 months. 2 of the investigations were conducted by Internal Affairs, where I was exonerated on both of those. All the other investigations were conducted by hand-picked individuals that worked directly for the sheriff. The only outside entity that investigated this was conducted by POST, which is the Peace Officers Standard and Training Council. Upon completion of their investigation, my certification was reinstated, and there was no disciplinary action taken against me. I've continued to wait patiently for my opportunity to be heard as protected by the Civil Service Board of Clayton County. I thank you for this time and consideration in discussing the importance of protecting the rights of the men and women who serve this county with their lives. In short, justice delayed is justice denied. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Michael Hensley.
Good evening, board members. My name is Michael Hensley. I was also a previous employee of the Clayton County Sheriff's Office. I'm here to talk about my pending termination hearing back from 2018. I was hired back in March of 1996. My employee number was 10983. I worked in the jail on the road as a canine handler, and I was also promoted up the ranks, investigator, sergeant, lieutenant, and captain. I also was a member of the Clayton County Sheriff's Office SWAT team for over 20 years, where I risked my life for the citizens of Clayton County and its employees. I won the Medal of Valor. Working at the sheriff's office under Victor Hill was like walking on eggshells, afraid of offending anybody, offending the sheriff, the chaplain / chief deputy, the sheriff's godson, or one of his many puppets. However, I was naive. I thought the sheriff wanted my opinion as a member of the sheriff's command staff. I would tell him no, well, we can't do that. he'd become angry or upset. However, I was not a yes man. And because I was taught and trained by Clayton County to do the right thing, and of course, I got on his bad side. So in 2018, I fell out of favor with the sheriff's office. I was demoted like Keith McLaughlin also, from captain to lieutenant, from lieutenant to sergeant, then fired in August of 2018, all in consecutive months. I appealed each decision and determination, and of course, I was there for the meeting that Keith McLaughlin talked about, where he threatened everybody with termination. And again, post overturned by hearing also. No disciplinary action to take. Then of course, you have to wait. But one thing you need to know about, we're working at the sheriff's office, these people are afraid for their jobs. They go into self-preservation mode. These investigators will do anything the sheriff asks them or what he wants to. The names of Mark Tuggle rings a bell to you? The chaplain that was arrested, many other people are hunting down landscapers who make him upset. He does the same thing to the employees. And of course, then we get on the waiting list, and the time keeps ticking. Of course, first it was because we were 20 or 30 down the list. And then of course but there came COVID. Then of course the sheriff wants to object to every board member that's on the civil service board. Of course he does, because it's simple. He doesn't have any case. They're all baseless and factless. And as soon as they have a hearing, he'll lose. And that's why he's putting them off. And he fights so hard. And of course, the sheriff himself is not going to testify in front of the board because he don't want to be called as a witness. He'll never put himself in that position. As Keith said, I was hired on the Civil Service Board. The protection, the checks and balances that gives us as employees for any wrongdoing. So if you want to change the rules now, we should be grandfathered in. And there's plenty like me out there. There's a lot more people like me.
I'm sorry, sir, your time is up.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Norm Oliver, Pastor T and Norm Oliver. No? Wrote your name on this sheet of paper right here. Oh, you signed it. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here, too. Thank you. I didn't make you leave now. I didn't want you to have to jump up and run out now. It's good to see y'all. Thank you. Mickey Garber.
Madam Clerk, Mickey Garber, unincorporated Rex, Georgia. Members of the board, I'd like to applaud y'all's effort for the Amnesty Day on the garbage pickup. Every great journey starts with the first step. This being the first step, the garbage or the dumping problem runs 365 days. Your mandatory trash pickup does not address the litter problem. Dumping, pound for pound, is equal to the litter. And your plans for mandatory trash pickup does not address the litter problem, and we will continually have dirty streets. I want you to know that most of the subdivisions that I drive through, and I go through lots of them, the people are clean. 99% of your people are clean, hardworking, decent people. Your problem exists in the heavily traveled corridors, the commercial areas, and the heavy industrial areas, of which all visitors coming to do business here has to travel through. And this mandatory trash pickup is a burden not only on yourselves, which will ultimately fail, but the burden you're placing on the individual citizens in your districts in this community. Give me your plan for litter control. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Carol Yancey.
Carol Yancey, Reds, Georgia. This is a partial synopsis continuation of the unresponsiveness from the board members from January 2018 to present. Clayton County is one of 11 Metro Atlanta counties with a Tier 1 status, ranked 17 out of 71, with a Title I school system with a maxed out millage rate of 20 mills since 2018. 57% of our property taxes goes towards the school system, which has an overall D-. 93% of the airport sits in Clayton County. Clayton County receives less than 1% per 2018 records. Overall revenue generated, but we incur all the expenses. We're also the 53% of the homes are investors. The only county where the sheriff and his staff waste and misuse our public funds on unnecessary expenses, such as the sheriff's name being plastered on all SO fleet, signs, muscle cars in excess of $120,000 ordered every 2 to 3 years for his personal use and unofficial business, causing increased O&M expenses. Plus the $80,000 pay increases and promotion within an 18-month period, totaling $130,000 for his friend, a non-certified law enforcement officer, to be chief of staff after federal indictments against her for public corruption, along with the sheriff's pending lawsuits in excess of $130 million and his indictment. Yet this board, for at least a year, repeatedly disapproved the budget requests presented by judges, DA, and solicitors for certified staffers' salary. Negative impact to the county image and citizens, in addition to the above, inflated property value scams and investor buyouts, while at the same time, realtors are donating to campaign funds for Commissioner Anderson and the District 4 candidate. Commissioner Franklin. On March the 5th, 2022, while at the Flint River Center, you approached Ms. Aretha Inslee with a statement about me that was untrue. In your statement, you said I did not return your call. After Ms. O's call, I sent you and the board members the call log showing at least 2 calls and 1 text message from me to you. How many other Clayton County residents have you misrepresented? It appears that the deceptive practices and undermining citizens seems to be the modus operandi for you and Commissioner Anderson. I have time left. Would you like to answer my question?
Well, your time is up now, ma'am.
Thank you.
Glenda Gates.
Good evening, everyone. I have a couple of questions for Commissioner Anderson. I live in unincorporated Conley, Georgia, Pleasant Acres. I would like to know why you overlook us homeowners. You have never came to us or tried to meet with us about anything. I mean, you go all down to Lexington, Elizabeth Park, but you just skip all over us. We've never been treated like that before. I want to know what your answer is. And also, I got an email that you never responded to, January 26th. How do we get your attention? I mean, we live there too. We've been living there for years. But you're the only commissioner that just totally ignores us.
You have any other comments to make?
No, I don't, but I just want her to know.
Thank you, ma'am. Pinky Hutchins.
Good evening. My name is Pinky Hutchins. I'm from the Pleasantdale Acre Subdivision, District 1. Excuse me. Some of my concerns are regarding the daily dumping on Conley Road. My one concern or suggestion is I'm wondering if we could get like a tag reader for Conley Road to monitor and control the dumping on Conley. My next concern is safety issue. On Conley Road, we have the martyr, but we don't have any sidewalks. We don't have any lights, and that's a safety concern because we do have quite a bit of residents that don't own cars that have to take martyr, so it's quite dangerous. And we have had a death on that road right in front of the church where a car ran up to the martyr's place where the person was standing and got killed Mother's Day, probably about 2 years ago. But I'm concerned about that area because we do have a lot of people that walk Conley Road, and we do need some lights and we do need some sidewalks. My next concern is concerning the South Lake Mall area. I would like to see how can Clayton County better that mall to service Clayton County. We need some type of financial impact to bring in income and better facilities. The mall has gone down. I don't know if the owners can be penalized to come in and do something, but that mall needs to come back to life, and we need some fine dining, some nice places so we don't have to go to Lenox or Mall of Georgia. We should be able to have these things right here in Clayton County. So that's one of my main concerns, is trying to get the county back up to par where we need to be. We want people to come to Clayton County, love Clayton County like I do, but we need to excite people to want to come to the mall and just to come to Clayton County in general, because it's a good place to live, but we need to do some things. We need to come up to par, and we need to work on Clayton County's appearance. So that's my concern, and thank you for your time.
So let me just say this. You're talking about South Lake Mall, the school system and the county. Ma'am? Oh, okay. Thinking she didn't want to hear me.
I was going to address that too, sir.
I was just saying that the school system and the county has partnered to build an arena at South Lake Mall.
Okay.
And within that arena, they will have concerts, conferences, as well as some other things for the children, such as a discovery zone and so forth. So there are big plans for that area, which naturally will attract some other economic development.
Great, we need that. We also need a technical school too in Clayton County. We don't have technical school.
Yes, ma'am. Can I also?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Chairman, also, the mall is filled to capacity. Ms. Rocker Willis has been working with the mall management. And so I guess because the arena is coming, the mall, all the shops in the mall are filled. There's actually a waiting list now. Now, the quality, I don't know. I haven't been out there. However, we are making sure that we have quality companies that are trying to come in there. And again, the school system will be there. And I was a part of making that happen.
Great.
So,
well, we
yes,
really
ma'am.
do need that. I appreciate whatever we can get for Clayton County.
Yes,
'cause
ma'am.
We need taxes, and we need things, and we need people to want to live in Clayton County. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Deja Lloyd.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Clayton County Commissioners Board. As a resident for half of my
Please
life.
state your name for me again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Deja Lloyd, Riverdale. As a resident for half of my life, I stand before you with a genuine concern about the housing issue within Clayton County. I currently reside in Riverdale, and I have lived in my unit for almost 3 years. Around November 2021, my income potential decreased substantially. Due to this, I was unable to pay my rent, which ultimately caused me to file for eviction. During this time, I applied to multiple rental assistance programs, including Clayton County Rental Assistance Program and the Georgia Department of Community Affairs. I applied in December to receive some type of assistance with little to no response at all. When I previously called the number that was given online, I am met with an attitude or a very generic answer such as, wait for Africa Children's Funds to get back to your file and we will reach out, from individuals in that department. I have waited patiently since December. Some residents have waited longer, but there is no update on when or how the funds are being dispersed. I also attended the eviction webinar that the Clayton County Magistrate Court hosted on February 22nd, 2022, to possibly receive some insight on updates for rental assistance. I asked 2 questions in which both of them were ignored. During this call, we were informed that Clayton County received between $5 to $6 million for rental assistance. I asked, where is it? Also, while on this call, I asked when I should expect my interview with the county to receive funds. I was informed to look out for a phone call within 2 weeks from the county, and I haven't received anything. I received my original email on February 3rd, 2022 to update my profile, and it would be reviewed. After a month of silence, when someone finally reached out to me last week on March 8th, 2022, my documents were not enough, and I needed additional information. I attempted to upload some of those documents on the website, but the website was not working, and it's still not working, which is causing more of a delay. My question is, where and how are these funds being dispersed to residents properly if the individuals in charge aren't being cooperative? Months have passed, and I have yet to receive any type of assistance from the county. If I didn't have such a great rapport with my leasing manager and paid my rent ahead of time during COVID, then I would be homeless. I am currently working 2 jobs at the moment, one for the federal government and one at a hotel. I truly love Riverdale and Clayton County. This has been my home since the age of 10. As an active voter and taxpayer, my concern is my hard-earned dollars aren't being utilized correctly for the residents. I am working diligently to pay off my balance with the courts. However, it will be greatly appreciated if I receive some type of assistance or communication from Clayton County like I was supposed to previously.
Ma'am, your time is up. If you would, give your information to Mr. Stanford, who's Chief Operating Officer, and he'll try to get a status as to where your application is.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, how are we with time?
Chairman, we have time for at least 2 more.
All right. Gershon Gonzalez.
That's okay, I just came for someone, I apologize.
No problem, no problem. Maury Gusta.
Maury Gusta from Ellenwood, unincorporated area. I come before you to ask that this board take a look at a county park in Ellenwood. Currently, Grant Road Park is not being utilized because the resources there are not inviting. However, our community is trending towards a demographic of young professionals, and currently we have a senior living complex that is being built right beside it. Having this county park repurposed as a dog park would be a benefit to the community because there are a lot of dogs that exist within the area. In addition, research shows that a dog park provides a safe place for older individuals or people with disabilities who may not have the capability of walking their dog. I hope that we think about the phrase that is used a lot within this county, that Clayton County is a place where you can eat, work, and play. Having Grant Road Park repurposed as a dog park will allow the young professionals, the elderly, and disabled individuals to have a place where they can socialize safely while exercising their dogs. Due to us not having sidewalks, this will give our neighbors a place to take their dogs within the area safely. My neighbors want to thank Dr. Anderson for coming out to see our concern in Ellenwood. She understood the concern, and I want to make sure that other board members as well understand the concern like Dr. Anderson.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This looks like maybe Sean Shepard.
Good afternoon. How you all doing?
Good.
I just want to thank each and every one of you
State
all.
your name for us and where you live.
Sean Shepard. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for acknowledging my sister for SCNE. I'm an associate there, and that's all I wanted to do. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
Madam Clerk, that concludes public comment.
The next item, the board will now consider the consent agenda.
All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on any other items? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
The next item is item number 6, Budget Amendment 2-19, FY22 Mountain View Tax Allocation District.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, and Commissioners. Budget Amendment 2-19 is for Mountain View TAD. It's to provide funding for infrastructure for the Mountain View Tax Allocation District, specifically the Gilbert Road project, in the amount of $3,114,460.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second the motion. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Commissioner Hambrick.
Being the Commissioner of District 2, and this falls in District 2, what is going on?
Mr. COO. I yield the floor.
Commissioner, part of the Gilbert Road project, we allocated money for SPLOS in that space. To actually do the road completion, we needed additional dollars, so we utilized the tax allocation district funding from the Mountain View to help take care of the shortfall. So what you have here is the budget amendment that's taking care of that shortfall for the Gilbert Road project that was approved by the board.
Okay, is it cutting it off, clearing it out, or?
It's
it's
development of the
actually.
road.
Yeah. And we've been talking about it for maybe a year or two now.
It's when OA Group, Steve Berman, we had Dan McCrae, the group come forth to give us a presentation, and we finally was working out the details. This takes care of the overall balance for the overall build out of that road. So
Is
a portion
this
of
the
it.
end of that now?
Yes, ma'am.
Because we've heard that for 2 or 3 years. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Just want to know.
Any other questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
ma'am.
The next item is item number 17, Clayton County Extension Request for Supplements. HR Director Pamela Ambles.
Good evening, Chairman, Vice Chair Hambrick, Commissioners, and good evening to our Clayton County citizens. On behalf of Extension Services, Human Resources is requesting a $20,000 stipend for the 4-H agent. The University of Georgia is providing a $27,000 salary, and that includes benefits, insurance, leave, and pension. The 4-H County Extension Agent is responsible for managing the 4-H program for Clayton County, which includes providing educational programs, coordinating local activities for youth, and preparing our youth for projects and judging events. The 4-H agent works under the direction and leadership of the Clayton County Extension Coordinator, Ms. Rebecca Hardeman, and Ms. Hardeman is here this evening. Without funding for this position, we will continue to decrease the number of youth that we're able to serve. With a 4-H agent in place, we have the potential to reach over 10,000 youth. Some of the focus areas include agriculture, science, mathematics, healthy living, as well as civic engagements. There is no additional cost to the budget. Funding is available in the Extension Services budget, and we are requesting a 3/1/22 start date if the board approves it.
All right, is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions?
Yes.
Commissioner Hambrick.
At the work session, I request this be taken out and put on the regular agenda because all of this information was not in here, especially the part about no additional cost to the budget and all. So like everything else, if it's something to come out of the budget and all, again, I will say I'm asking all the departments to wait until the budget time. But now that we have the information and all, which is what I was seeking then, I'm fine with this, especially since it does not, cost anything or any additional cost to the budget. But again, I just want to stay consistent.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Vice Chair, I do apologize if there's been any miscommunication in my synopsis to the board. You'll find that it does indicate that there is no budgetary impact in the little synopsis that I provide. So I apologize if there were any miscommunication, but no, ma'am.
Well, it just didn't have all this information now, so, but thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I just want to stay consistent that, that we hang in there for the budget.
Yes,
since we
ma'am.
are in that process now.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Any other questions? Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you all.
I'm back. Okay, so due to approving that, there is no cost to the budget. She has money in her budget to take care of the increase in the salaries. But because it is an increase to the salaries and wage line item, the board has to approve this budget amendment to for her to move forward. So it's Budget Amendment 2-18 for the extension services, and it's to transfer funds to cover the additional cost for the 4-H agent county paid stipend. So she's moving $20,000 from two other line items in her budget to the salaries and wages, because statutorily, or not statutory, your county ordinance states that in order that the board has to approve any increases to salary line items, even if it's budget neutral. You all still have to approve that.
Okay, so I'm glad you're up here, because now does this mean that next fiscal budget, will it affect the budget?
No, ma'am, it will not. So she's reducing two line items, and those line items will be reduced, will be permanently reduced.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second the motion. Are there any other questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the next few items are board appointments. The first one is item 18.
First board appointment is to the Behavioral Health and Developmental Board. Diana Williams' term will expire April 2nd, 2022 on the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities Region 3 Advisory Board. New term will begin April 2nd, 2022 and expire April 2nd, 2025. On this board, you may only serve 2 consecutive terms. Therefore, Ms. Williams termed out. This is at-large appointment. So are there any recommendations? Any recommendations? All right, hold that till next meeting. Next board appointment is to Land Bank. Ms. Latrice Mitchell's term on the Land Bank will expire April 15, 2022. New term will begin April 15, 2022 and expire April 15, 2026. Ms. Mitchell has resigned this post, so it is an at-large appointment. Any recommendations? Hold that next week as well, Madam Clerk. Next one's also to the Land Bank Board. Ms. Deborah Lovelace's term will expire April 15, 2022. New term will begin April 15, 2022. Expires April 15, 2026. At-large appointment. Any recommendations?
Can we still do Ms. Deborah Lovelace? She can go back in, Chairman?
Is that your recommendation?
Yes,
ma'am?
that's my recommendation.
All right, recommendations to reappoint Ms. Lovelace. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. The next board appointment is also Land Bank. Ms. Tanya Lane resigned and Commissioner Davis nominated the same person to replace her at the March 1st, 2022 meeting. She is moving out of the county, cannot serve on this board. Therefore, another recommendation is needed. It's at large. Are there any recommendations? All right, hold that for the next. Next board appointments to the Library Board. Ms. Julie Pizarro resigned from the Library Board. The new appointment will begin immediately and will expire June 30th, 2024. This is my appointment, and I'll make a recommendation for Ms. Yvette Dupree. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, the next items are zoning items. Citizens may speak for or against an item that is considered by laws to be a zoning decision, and each side will have 10 minutes to present its case. In the event there is more than one speaker per side, speakers must divide their time in order to complete their full presentation within the 10-minute time allotment. When the time runs out, the speaker will be expected to immediately cease speaking and to leave the podium. Applicants or citizens speaking in favor of an item shall speak first. Applicants in zoning ordinance cases shall have the right to reserve time for rebuttal. Opponents of a zoning decision item shall have no right of rebuttal. When speaking, speak directly into the microphone and begin by stating your name, address, and name of any organization you represent. Abusive, profane, or derogatory language will not be permitted. The first zoning item is item number 23, BOC-2080138, to amend the map from GC to MXI.
Good evening, Chairman and board members. This petition, case number 23, also with case 24 and 25, they're companion cases. Staff did receive official notice from the applicant to wish to table this matter until the April 19th Board of Commissioners hearing.
Mr. Heck, is this your case? If you please come forward. If you come to the microphone. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We talked with the District Commissioner who had suggested we table it, and we were readily agreeable.
And that's both items, 23 and 24.
All the items on the project.
Items.
Oh, 23, 24, and 25.
23, 24, and 25.
All righty.
Thank
Madam Commissioner Anderson, what's your pleasure?
We're gonna table those items, 23, 24, and 25. Until April 19th. Is that the next meeting? Okay, that's
Yes.
fine.
All right, the motion is to table until April 19th. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Davis. Any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
The next zoning item is item number 26, BOC 2111-0165, which is the map amendment from general commercial to high-density residential.
Chairman and board members, to note, this request, which is item number 26, items 26, 27, and 28 are companion cases. The applicant sent an official notice to withdraw this request, which was accepted by the Zone Advisory Board and has been forwarded to you all for consideration of withdrawal. And this is for items 26. Excuse me. I do apologize. Disregard that. I do apologize.
You said all that, just to say disregard.
It sounded good, but we'll try it again. All right. Item number 26, BOC 2111-0165, future land use map amendment. The applicant is requesting a future land use map amendment from general commercial to high density residential. The applicant Inline Communities is requesting a future land use map amendment, as mentioned, to high density residential to allow 128 unit attached townhome community consisting of 15.2 acres of land. The subject property is located at 8040 Highway 85 in Riverdale, Georgia, 30274, was also known as parcel 13215CB009. Subject property is located at the corner of Highway 85 and Webb Road. Staff has reviewed over the request and recommended approval of the request. ZAG also recommended approval of this request as well. Again, this has another component to it, but you are voting on the future land use map amendment at this time, and the applicant is here.
Applicants here, please come forward. Would you like to save any minutes for a rebuttal?
Please.
How many?
5.
Okay. Put 5 minutes on the timer, and please, sir, proceed on.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Josh Mahoney, the Associate Attorney at Battle Law PC. We're located at 3562 Habersham at North Lake, Tucker, Georgia 30084. I am here before you this evening because I am really excited to talk about a really high quality, really good opportunity townhome product that we are bringing to this intersection here at 85 and Webb. You can kind of see here where the property is located on a large scale. If we zoom in on the next slide, please, Tyler. Yeah, there we go. So you can see where we are here at 85 and Webb. If you look around, we have a lot of different types of housing already, multifamily, some single family, but really mostly multifamily apartments. We're really excited to bring our product to this location. It serves as an excellent transition from the multifamily apartments onto this kind of what is becoming a more commercial corridor. Next slide, please, Tyler. Let's go one more. So Tyler kind of already talked about the zoning and what it is. We're going from MX to RM, and we're going to go with the map change to high-density residential to allow for this development. Next slide, please, Tyler. And again. Okay, thank you. So we've worked really closely with staff to come to this layout. We've got two in, two out, with a mixture of front-loaded and rear-loaded townhome units. I wanted to point out that 100% of these units will have 2-car garages per the ordinance. And as Tyler kind of already mentioned, we're happy to report that we received both a recommendation of approval from the planning staff and from ZAG with conditions that we do accept. Next slide, please, Tyler. And let's actually, can we go to the elevations in a minute? Thank you. So we really wanted to emphasize just how high quality a product it is that we are bringing here. Our development will include a pool, clubhouse, gym space, and a dog park for the future community members to enjoy. You can kind of see an example of some of what the exteriors will look like, a good mixture of materials to allow for a differentiation between the units. Next slide, please. Next slide, I'm not sure. Okay. And with that, I actually will conclude my presentation. Happy to address any questions or concerns you all have at this time.
Thank you. This is a public hearing, so is there anybody here who'd like to speak in favor of applicant's request? Anyone like to speak in favor of? Anyone like to speak in opposition to? Anybody in opposition? All right, well, you still have some minutes on the clock. You got 5 if you would like to have some closing comments or take any questions.
I'm happy to just accept any questions at this time if you all have any.
Okay. Commissioner Franklin.
First, I want to say thank you all for working with us because we've had several meetings dealing with this project, including ones with our chief of fire and those in the surrounding area. I'm excited about it because this is going to be a true transit-oriented development, which is what we need in this community. And so with that, I make a recommendation for approval.
Is there a second? I'll second the motion. Are there any other questions?
I have a question
Commissioner
about that
Hambrick.
corner, because people have been asking me, they think it's in my district. But are we still gonna have that, I think, a gas station? and
That's
some-
it. That's what right here
and
is.
some
Yes, ma'am.
restaurants and,
Right here.
okay.
It's right here, Commissioner.
Yes.
Okay,
You
that
see it
little
at the
space,
bottom.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Commissioner, with all due respect, Mr. Chairman, I understand Madam Chair's question. That project is moving along. I've been monitoring it. They're moving on a little slower. And people were talking about restaurants and so forth. One of the things we have tried to incorporate in District 3 is the true multi-use of the area so we can have a live, work, play community. So that space is being developed out with the retail and the restaurant as well. But, I wish we could, light a fire to get them going quicker, but maybe this project could get them going. But that, yes, it is coming. So my
Any other-
recommendation is for approval.
Any other questions? All right, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The next zoning item is item number 27, BOC-2111-0166, rezoning from mixed use to multifamily residential to construct a 128-unit attached family townhome community.
Again, Commissioners, for the record, BOC 2111-0166 rezoning. This is the rezoning component following the future land use map amendment you just voted on. Again, the applicant is requesting the rezoning from MX to RM. ZAT recommended approval. Staff also recommended approval with conditions, and I'll read those conditions for the record. Starting with condition number 1, the development shall be within general conformity with the applicant's site plan presented January 21st, 2022. Condition number 2, all townhome units shall have a minimum of 2-car garages. Condition number 3, shall provide a decorative fence within the buffers of road frontages on Webb Road and Highway 85. Lastly, condition number 4, road access and right-of-way improvements are subject to the approval of the Clayton County Transportation and Development Department prior to the approval of a land disturbance permit and site development application. That concludes staff's recommendations and recommendations forwarded to the board.
All right, sir. Would you like to save any minutes for rebuttal?
I don't need any time to present.
All right. All right. This is public hearing. Anybody like to speak in favor of? Favor of this request? Anybody like to speak in opposition to? Opposition to? Commissioner Franklin.
All right, once again, thank you. Only one condition that I did not see, which you know I'm going to ask, and that is one trash collection throughout the entire area, which already has to be there anyway. But other than that, I accept it and make a recommendation that the board approves it with all of the conditions that were previously read, as well as the one trash collection, one service, one provider.
I second the motion.
Any questions?
I do have one. Are these townhome rentals sale or rentals?
These units are for rent.
They're for rent, 100% for rent?
Yes.
And who will own these units?
Inline communities.
Sir, come forward. Please state your name for us.
Absolutely. Brian Musoff, Inline Communities. Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners, for having us here tonight. So it is a for-rent community. Y'all may remember back in November, we're doing a for-sale community. You can actually see it across the street on the other side on Auburn Ridge. And so as kind of a companion, so that we're not competing with the other project that we're currently working on the LDP for right now, our plan is to do this 100% for rent. It will have on-site management, rental, with all sorts of safeguards to make sure that things stay completely well maintained and our Class A rental property. And so the difference between this and multifamily is typically multifamily, you've got people living on top of each other, you've got cars parked in parking lots. This is everyone's got a 2-car garage, everyone will park inside their garages, no one lives above you or below you. It's townhome living, so it allows us to build a superior product, a larger product that'll rent between $1,800 and $2,200 per unit is where we've got it today in our pro forma. And as we know, we've got to keep it affordable, but at the same time, rent rates are going up. So it's a Class A product that's kind of a transition between the mobile home park across the street and the multifamily that's right here. It's kind of a bigger, better product that we think will be something that'll be very well accepted in the area, and it works well for families and married couples as opposed to a smaller 1 or 2 bedroom apartment.
I guess the reason I asked that question is because we know we have a lot of investment in hedge fund investors that are coming into Clayton County specifically to, in a sense, rent here and move somewhere else. And I think with a 60% rental rate here in Clayton County, that's something that we need to consider strongly.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because one thing I would say is that I take the development of District 3 very seriously. And with that being stated, I brought before this board for us to be able to make sure that we no longer end up with hedge fund folks coming in to buy out places where folks are going in thinking they're purchasing a townhome, and in actuality, it turns into a big apartment complex. And that's the reason that I did work to make sure that we get our code, our county codes changed for that. But with that being stated, though, it is extremely important that we keep in mind when we're talking about rental rates, we're talking about mainly a lot of these homes are being rented out by hedge fund folks. But there is a need for it, because one of the things that I realized, that even though I purchased a home similar where I purchased it, I will tell you that we have firefighters, we have police officers who, unfortunately, because they're just starting out, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out, because unfortunately, because of the increase of houses, they really, with the salary they're making as a second and third year police officer or firefighter, they can't even qualify for a home. But we want them to live in Clayton County, and we want them to be able to have a place that is upscale, because they deserve that. So that's why I intentionally worked with Inline Properties to make sure that we're developing out this 85 corridor so that we have a true transit-oriented community, and also providing quality houses to those who are serving our community. Everybody deserves a place to live that is of quality. So thank you so much for working with us. Thank you for the for sale place over there and working with us on that, because I know you wanted that to possibly be for rent, and we said that ain't happening. But now we got a great product here that we can balance it out, and I look at everything in balance. So with that stated, I've already made my recommendation.
We're still on questions, though, Commissioner Franklin.
No, sir, no, I'm just trying to help answer the question.
Are there any other questions?
No. And I'm ready to pass.
All right, hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chair, before you ask.
Go ahead.
The
Right.
applicant didn't verify that he was fine with the additional conditions.
Are you in agreement with all of the conditions?
Yes.
Even the one trash hauler?
Yes.
Okay, that was added,
Mhm.
okay.
They
All
used to
right.
that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
The next zoning hearing is item number 28, BOC 2109-0144 for a conditional use permit for a new place of worship.
Chairman and Board, again, for the record, BOC 2109-0144, conditional use permit. This request was tabled at the last Board of Commissioners hearing. The applicant is requesting the conditional use, as mentioned, and the property is located in a Highway 42 overlay, located at 6396 Highway 42, also known as parcel 12119B A003. This property, as mentioned, staff is recommending approval with conditions, and the Zone Advisory Board recommended approval with conditions as well. And I will read the conditions for the record. Condition number 1, the temple and supporting religious facility shall not exceed 7,000 square feet, excluding the proposed and existing residential homes on the property. The maximum impervious lot coverage shall not exceed 10% of the total lot area. Deviation from the required lot standards may be granted by approval of the Board of Zoning Appeals via a variance hearing process. Condition number 2, there shall be no lights projecting into the rear of the property adjacent to the residential parcels. And lastly, condition number 3, to provide a decorative fence internal to the buffer around the perimeter of the property. Believe that the applicant is here to represent her case.
Mr. Head. Like any minutes for rebuttal?
I will be brief and short, as always. Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Anderson, thank you very much for working with us on this. We were here before. As you know, I don't want to go through a long dissertation unless you want me to. We presented this at the last meeting. It's a Buddhist temple. I think it's a beautiful facility. The chief priest is here, right there, and some of his congregants. And They have pledged to be good neighbors. They have pledged to be supporters, wonderful people. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to represent this temple. Also, I think one thing they may be asking for, and that is with regard to the privacy fence, I think they were hoping it could be between the subdivision and the project as opposed to going through the entire perimeter. I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but I think that's one of the things they're wanting. And I did talk to John, was in touch with, and I think maybe the commissioner may wanted us to do this too. We had 2 community meetings, but Ms. Mayorga, we talked with, and I have an email from her. I don't know if you received it. It went to Mr. McSwain as well. But I think there's good support for it. If anybody doesn't wants me to talk about what I talked about before, I will, but otherwise I won't bore you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, this is public hearing. Anybody here in favor of, like to speak in favor of applicant's request? Anybody like to speak in opposition to? Anybody opposed? Commissioner Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say that to the constituents of District 1 and also to the place of worship that will be coming, I take very seriously about the places and people and the things that I let come in the district. So again, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Heck, for all of your hard work, and thank you for working with me. I did go out to the site and with a lot of prayer and talking to the constituents. I do want to say I would like to approve the conditional use permit for BOC 2109-0144.
Second.
Hold on a second, I haven't called for it. Commissioner, did you take into consideration the request about the fence?
Yes.
So what is it that you would like to see?
We just like, if it's okay, I mean, they're wanting to do the fence between the subdivision and the project as opposed to the whole perimeter, is what I think it would be easier on them. That can happen.
So dividing them up from the subdivision versus the entire thing. Okay, that should work. Yes.
Okay, Mr. McSwain, did you write that in as one of the conditions? Okay. All right, go ahead, sir.
I noted the conditions, so we will
And Mr.
consider
Heck,
that with the
Go ahead, sir, I'm
locations of where the property is. So it'll be the rear and the side of the property adjacent to residential.
And property, the owners in agreement with all of that.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, now I'll ask for a second. Is there a second?
I think before I second it, don't we need to make sure the motion is amended so it includes the fencing?
Go ahead and amend your motion.
So again, I'm going to amend the motion to add the fencing to the conditions as well.
Second.
Any other questions? Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
The next zoning item is number 29, BOC 2112-0172, which is a rezone from general commercial to light industrial.
Chairman and board members, this item, on behalf of Trident Capital LLC, they have companion applications, which will be items 29, 30, and 31. During the zone advisory board stage, and let me also note the parcel number and address for the record. This property is located at 6795 Green Industrial Way in Morrow, Georgia, located near South Lake Mall. The subject parcel is 12112CA005. The applicant did submit in a formal request to staff regarding the withdrawal of their requests of items 29, 30, and 31. Zach accepted that withdrawal, and this request is being forwarded over to you for consideration.
Applicant present? Or they just send a letter in?
They send a formal letter, yes.
Okay, Commissioner Davis, how would you like to proceed?
Now, can we take these as a block from 29 to 32?
Yes, well, there are motions to withdraw.
Yes, I go ahead and approve that motion to withdraw, accept that motion to withdraw.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Any other questions? Or any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
The next zoning hearing is item number 32, BOC 2112-0173, which is a conditional use permit to construct a new sanctuary building.
Chairman Board, again, item for the record, BOC 2112-0173. The applicant Christopher White on behalf of Greater Works Baptist Church, located at 3296 Walt Stevens Road. This property is located within the Highway 138 overlay and also known as parcel 12014A, A001. Staff recommended approval of this request to the Zoning Advisory Board. The Zoning Advisory Board did hear this request and recommended approval with one condition, and I would note that condition with explanation. Condition number 1, all necessary variances shall be obtained prior to the submittal of the site development application and process. This site is currently zoned as state residential. They will exceed the impervious lot requirement. So with that acknowledgement, staff and the board did recommend that they meet that condition in order to remain in compliance. So they will need to seek variances if this request is approved.
Applicant present.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Board. My name is Christopher White. I'm the civil engineer that is working on the site development plans. I've been working with Greater Works for about a year, working on an acceptable site plan. Right now, do you have my PowerPoint? Okay. The proposed sanctuary building will be 6,375 square feet. It will meet the corridor overlay requirements as far as the facade. We will have 200 seats, and the parking lot proposed will accommodate, per the ordinance, the one parking space per 3 seats. It will remain on septic. We do plan on upgrading the septic system to meet current standards, and we will follow the yard buffer ordinance as far as the rows of trees and or fencing as required by Clayton County's ordinance. We will be seeking variance for the impervious coverage. Right now, the site currently has about 15% impervious. The proposed conditions will be estimated about 46% impervious. Another variance that we will have to seek is your current ordinance and regulations require places of worship be on 5-acre parcels minimum. The current parcel size is 2.2 acres. So, given that this church was founded in 1950s, I believe. And so, or 40s, I'm sorry, thank you. And as it sits today, doesn't meet current standards. A little fast. Okay. We will provide right turn deceleration on Walt Stevens Road as required per DOT, and we will provide sidewalk along Walt Stevens Road. We'll provide landscaping as required. Parking lot, as it sits right now, I believe provides 73 spaces. For 200-seat church, minimum requirement would be 67 spaces. We'll provide landscape islands as required. And of course, there's the 40-yard buffer, as you see around the perimeter, with a row of evergreens and 2 rows of deciduous trees. The existing fellowship hall to the left of the parcel there will remain as is, and we'll install a new septic system at the rear corner of the property to service both of those buildings. There's a little more, some details from the plans, from site data about the impervious area we've already discussed. We will provide all landscaping, buffers, and outdoor lighting as required by Clayton County's regulations. a little more detail here. As you can see, I've estimated the impervious coverage to be about 15% of the site. And the parcel is 2.2 acres, which doesn't meet the current standards of 5 acres. And as we stated before, any other variants that are unbeknownst to us at this time, we will seek variances and make sure those are approved prior to submitting for any site plan approval.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anybody here who'd like to speak in favor of applicant's request? Anybody like to speak in favor of? Anyone like to speak in opposition to? Anybody opposed? Commissioner Davis.
I do have one question, and that is, with this building being so old, would they be grandfathered in with the?
They're tearing down, my understanding, they're tearing down the
yes,
church.
we'll be removing the existing sanctuary building that's roughly in the middle of the parcel.
Okay.
That will be getting removed.
So we still have to go through the variance process before
Right.
they can actually build. I move that we approve this recommendation.
I'll second the motion.
With the condition?
With the conditions as stated, yes.
I'll second the motion as amended. Any questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, the last item on the agenda is item number 33, BOC-2111-0168, for a conditional use permit to allow an auto repair shop.
Chairman Board, again, for the record, this is BLC 21110168, conditional use permit request. The applicant, Terry Bailey, is requesting a conditional use permit for an auto repair shop that's within the general business zoning district in the Cherry Hills overlay. The subject property is located at 1564 Norman Drive in Atlanta, Georgia. This is what is adjacent south of North Clayton High School. Staff did review over the request and recommended an approval with one condition, that vehicle parking within the rear of the property shall not be placed on gravel surfaces. The impervious surface shall not exceed 70% for the entire lot. Also note to everyone that ZAG recommended denial of this request, and the applicant is here to represent their case.
Applicant present, please come forward. Please state your name for us and how many minutes, if any, would you like to save for a rebuttal?
Okay, my name is Terry Bailey. Terry Bailey, address 2221 Peachtree Road, Northeast, Suite D, 341, Atlanta, Georgia, 30309. And I guess I'll just speak real quick and I'll let you guys know when I'm done, and I'll save the rest of, I guess, the 10 minutes for rebuttal. Hopefully it won't be long.
Okay.
So. Good evening, everyone. As mentioned, this is a request for a conditional use permit for auto repair shop. And I want to give you, the board, a little bit of background. As you heard, the planning staff's recommended approval. We got a non-favorable recommendation from ZAG. And I think that part of the reason is, there's nobody in opposition that spoke in opposition from the community. I think ZAG they took the position that they didn't want any more automobile uses. And it was kind of left at that. I'm gonna give a little bit of background about the owners or the people who plan to operate this business, so you guys can kind of understand why we're requesting this. It's a family of three that are from New York. There's a mother and a brother and a son, and their background is in technology. So what they plan to do is they've been looking at this property. They would like to close on this property, but what they wanted to do with closing is the existing property has 2 bays. And at some point it was used, I believe, for some type of courier service, and there must have been an automobile use at some point in the past, but it's been vacant for a very long time period. So what they are proposing to do is they want to put a media center at the top of the facility. It's a little under 5,000 square feet. And then they want to put a screen printing business at the bottom, and then use the other third for automobile use, because there's already bays there. There's plenty of parking, not just in the front, but really in the back. It's a big gravel lot there in the back of the premises. There's a natural buffer with trees. So, if there was, if they were to be approved for light automobile use, I don't anticipate much impact on the surrounding properties. But their plan was to use, they are not going to operate the automobile use. That's why they would like to get approval for it so they can rent it out to give them some type of additional income as they're starting the other two businesses at the property. The proposed hours would be 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 10 to 4 on Saturdays. And I know this is for the request is for automobile use, but I think a lot of times you have to look at the totality of the situation to determine, what's best for the community. And the reason they want to bring this media center and the screen printing business to the community is because their background is in not just technology, but the brother is, he's actually a film instructor and producer and engineer. He's produced films with Spike Lee, and he's a teacher at West Palm Beach. He actually teaches these services to students. And the son also works in film and videography. So some of the things they're thinking about doing is offering services like voice and audio production, film production, streaming, podcast services, video editing, voiceover, and things of that nature. And what the son does, he actually teaches at the Department of Corrections in New York, a program that he basically teaches people who've been incarcerated and preps and teaches them on technology and things of that nature. So our thought is that being right across the street from North Clayton High School would be a great opportunity to have those type of programs available where whether students could intern or have opportunities or have jobs that we could offer to some of the students while in school or after school. And with that being said, there's actually a business right next door that is it's a transmission shop, so they work on transmissions. So I spoke with the owner of that property. He says that one, I believe, was either a recent grad had came who had spoke with him about learning about, it was kind of like a mentorship where he's teaching them about how to deal with transmissions, how to run a business and things of that nature. So with this automobile use, as you heard, the staff has recommended approval because we believe that it meets all the criteria of the ordinance, but we wanted to let you know that, there's not been anybody identified as a tenant. The sole reason them doing that is they don't want to have to use the expense to tear down the bays, right away. They would just like a little bit of extra income while they are trying to, boost the other two businesses. And although the staff has not recommended any other conditions, besides what's been mentioned, I spoke with my client, and they're even amenable to putting a time limit to show you guys that that's not what they want to do. That's not the purpose of this, even if it's like a 3-year, prefer a 5-year, but they want to show they're going to be good operators. Suppose they were approved, it'd probably take them, they haven't even closed on the purchase, it'd probably take them a good half a year to a year to get a tenant in there in the first place. So let's say a tenant came in there and they were operating for 2 years, they'd have to come before the board anyway to get to extend that use. So we don't believe that it's going to have a negative impact. There's an automobile use right next door. That's a different type of use. Once again, light automobile repair would be things such as oil changes and stuff. And you see from there, there's a church parking lot in the middle, you have the school across the street, the residents in the back, but like I said, the building's so far from the residents, it's a natural buffer, it's not going to be any major repair or anything of that nature. What they're just trying to do is they're trying to just get a little bit of income from using those existing bays to kind of upstart their business. And like I said, I know that the other things I talked about are not directly related to the use, but I just want to let you know what their intentions are, why they think that they can do a couple different uses out the building. And just to, when I say screen printing, I'm talking about like T-shirts or things of that nature. So when it's a commercial use like that, you're not going to have a lot of traffic there. Most orders can be online. Same thing with the film, audio, podcast. They don't anticipate a lot of traffic. So I don't think this is going to be a big burden or barrier on the community. I think it could be very positive. What we want to do, if approved, is reach out to North Clayton High School. The problem is if we were to offer like training classes and credits right now, we'd have to go for another special use permit, which they're not opposed to doing, but we're dealing with a family who's like 2 of them are already teachers, the other works with technology at a law firm, African-American family coming down here from New York and Florida, hoping that this can be a community that they can have a good impact in and bring some of those services, and they would like to have additional revenue from that use. So once again, we're okay with you guys even giving us a time limit on the special use permit so we can show you what, how we plan to operate and be good neighbors. With that being said, I'll save the rest of my time for rebuttal.
All right, is there anybody here who would like to speak in opposition to applicant's request? He saved the rest of the remaining minutes for rebuttal. Anybody like to speak in opposition to? All right. Commissioner Hamburg.
You said opposition?
Nobody spoke.
Okay.
So.
Okay, yes. I am going along with Zag's recommendation of denial.
All right, is there a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Davis. Any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do we need executive session?
I know. That's okay.
Just on executive session on litigation only.
All right, I'll make a motion to go into executive session for litigation. Is there a second?
I second it.
Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
It's 4-1. All right, is there a motion to reconvene?
Motion to reconvene.
I'll second the motion. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Mr. Reed, please take them all together.
All right. First is a settlement agreement in the matter of David Templeton versus, well, not against Clayton County Transportation and Development in the Board of Commissioners as it relates to damage that occurred on his property on or about November 1st, 2019, at or near 3585 Rolling Meadows Drive, Ellenwood, Georgia, in Clayton County, in the amount of $10,585. Second is settlement agreement regarding Casha, C-A-S-H-A Henderson, related to an accident that occurred on or about October 7th, 2020, at or near the intersection of Highway 85 and Lees Mill Road in Clayton County, Georgia. And that is in the amount of $55,000. And the final one is Jack Scales, relating to an accident that occurred on or about November 11th, 2020, at or near the intersection of Highway 85 and Airport South Parkway in Clayton County, in the amount of $7,000.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Commissioner Hambrick. Are there any questions on any of the items? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I adjourn. I mean, make motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Anderson made the motion. I'll second the motion. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.